This is our weekly Black Books section. We'll attempt to give you horses to follow and horses we think will win in the next couple of starts, and hopefully you guys will benefit from that. So you take off here, mate.
Look, I'll kick off with some of the form from the 2-year-old races yesterday. I certainly thought that in the Breeders' Plate, Winter King and in particular One More No More are two horses that you can follow with a bit of confidence going forward. One More No More over an extra bit of ground. He really stormed home. He's a lovely type horse you can really follow. From the fillies, the Jim Crack, Come Hither, another one that looked like she'd benefit from a little bit of extra ground. Horizons I thought was a very gaming defeat there. In Melbourne, the 2-year-old race over in Melbourne, Noesis, I thought it was a special going into the race, and it bolted away with that race. Looked a highly professional sort, sat on the pace, very uncomplicated sort of horse, and just kicked away strongly off a high cruising speed. So you can follow that horse with a bit of confidence as well. Of the older horses, I mentioned Drumbeats in one of the earlier segments there as a horse I'd like to follow. Hot Danish, certainly a mare that you can continue to back going forward. And one of the, from the John O'Shea stable, Luster Lady, I thought she got home extremely well on Saturday, and she's something that you can follow with a bit of confidence going forward too.
I thought there was a couple there to take out of Saturday's meetings. I thought Reva San, Peter Moody trained stayer that came up, ran a pretty game second.
Toulon Dancer, yeah.
Toulon Dancer, a race we didn't cover. I think if Pete runs her in the Caulfield Cup, she'll have no weight. 4-year-old mares have got a tremendous record in that race, and if there's a bit of wet weather around, and usually in those races the curators do like to put a bit of give into the ground anyway, I think she could be a bit of a surprise packet. And we've seen some mares in the past that have got no form at all run placings in the Caulfield Cup, and I don't think she's hopeless at all in a fairly moderate year.
She won both the Oaks and the Derby during the winter.
Exactly.
On wet tracks, yeah.
Well, on wet tracks, but she's shown that she excels at that distance. And admittedly, you would have probably liked to have seen her win the race yesterday. But I just think in the handicap conditions, back at home, she'll be better suited. I think she'll run a really cheeky race, and certainly one to pick out odds in that race in the Caulfield Cup. I thought also El Cambio, I suppose it's pretty exposed there what he did, but I would follow him with confidence for the remainder of the spring. We haven't seen the best of him. He's still, I think, got a few more gears to go, and I think that he's more than capable of winning at Group 1 level. So El Cambio is one for the Black Books for me. Probably the other horse, out of the 2-year-olds, I agree with Maddie, the horse down in Melbourne, son of Exceed and Excel, $800,000 yearling. Noesis, I'd stick to him. Not quite sure what. There's not really many options for the babies during the spring. You'd probably just tick him over and run him in. There's probably some, those Group 2, Group 3 sort of races. But yeah, he's very professional, and the thing with the straight racing down in Melbourne, they either handle it or they don't. And he's one that we know does handle it. So I think you could also follow him with some degree of confidence. I wasn't really enamoured with the 2-year-old racing in Sydney. I think they were very moderate fields, and we haven't seen the better 2-year-olds come out or produce. So.
Not till later in the season normally. The way these days.
These are just the very early mature ones that come and go, and usually don't see a lot of them. Occasionally you'll see one, possibly the runner-up in the Breeders' Plate, son of One Cool Cat, who is standing out at Cambridge Stud. Winter King. He's purchased by Nathan Tinkler. I believe he's a Tinkler horse, isn't he?
Tinkler's the One More No More.
One More No More, I apologise. I wanted to mention that horse because he's got quite an interesting pedigree. He's a son of Pelaya, who has been a really good broodmare, and from that great Just Awesome family. It's the Dr. Green family. It's a very fast.
This thing will be better than Dr. Green.
Well, that won't be too difficult. He's
better sire.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Green was by Fupeg, and I think he was a fairly one-dimensional type. But yeah, certainly he had quite a hard run yesterday. you know, he's 3 deep, and for the babies, it's usually the horse that gets the best run wins. So possibly him, but the rest of them, I think, I don't think they're going to be playing much role.
As far as the 2-year-olds go, I spotted a sneaky one in a gym crack, a horse called Movie. Being trained by Clary Connors, got back to near last, and held up for runs in the straight, and was really starting to hit the line well, although still not fully extended. So that could be one to follow. Now there's a couple I spotted in Melbourne over the past week. One was last Sunday, a John O'Shea trained horse called Olonana. Morton Ready horse, another one by Morton Ready. Super impressive, making its Melbourne debut. It had had one previous starts in the winter at Canterbury, I think, on a wet track, and John obviously has a bit of an opinion of this horse. They've had it in Melbourne for quite a couple of months now, and getting ready to make its.
Well, they wanted to have it ready for the 1,000 guineas. For the
1,000 guineas, exactly. Yeah, but now they seem to have it back online, and I thought she was super impressive last week. So if you see Olonana around, I'd be backing her for sure. The other one I wanted to mention was a horse called Typhoon Tracy, a Moody trained horse by a Red Ransom 3-year-old filly. She ran around at Moonee Valley a week and a half ago now. I haven't seen her produce since, but she was awfully impressive that day. I think she won by about 3 or 3.5 lengths, and she actually surprised me with the ease of a win, considering there were some very good horses, other 3-year-old fillies in that race that went really well. So Olonana and Typhoon and Tracy are the ones for me, I think.
Good is Red Ransom going at the moment.
Enormous.
Just flying. I mean, his reputation's growing.
And he's like 20 years old, right? He's on a pension.
His reputation's growing faster than that George Michael style 3-day growth you got there, Salmon.
It's probably an inch longer since we started this show.
He's training with the Taliban there, but no, it's he's just consistently good. Gets winners every week, and he's going as good as anything at the moment.
And he's, not that it was the best performance of the week, but he was also the damn side Red Rule, I'm pretty sure, isn't he? So he's even in those weight for age middle distance events, he's just everywhere.
All right, that's our take on our Blackbookers. So hope you enjoyed it.